Welcome back to our final segment of Chamber Exchange, the TV show. Again, want to thank our sponsors that help make the show happen, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. I'm very pleased to have with us in our final segment, Pat Hanrahan, who's the Director of Development of the Heart of New England Council, Scouting America, and Chris Kursonis, who is the Administrative Director of College and Career Readiness at the Worcester Public Schools. And Chris, maybe we can just kind of start with you, but we've had Superintendent Moneras on, and members of the school committee, along with the superintendent, have kind of created a new team within the Worcester Public School that focus on college and career readiness. Oftentimes we kind of think of vocational technical education, but whether the kids are in a Chapter 74 program or not, we need to be exposing our young people to career pathways, and that college and career are options, and they're not mutually exclusive. So maybe you can talk about some of the work that you've been doing in the last couple of years.
Sure. Dr. Moneras created this department in conjunction with the school committee and all the people that are working hard within Worcester Public Schools. And we started off with 5 programs, and we're up to about 16 programs now, and it does include our Chapter 74 vocational programs, but it also we have a population of students that aren't necessarily, aware of all that's going on, of available opportunities in the workforce, but also going to college, and they don't have necessarily that guidance. A lot of them are first-time college goers, so we want to provide every opportunity we can and support. So these started working with the high schools and their students, and then the middle schools, and then even dialing it back to the elementary schools. So our programs work K to 12 plus. We even have some adult education programs that we're working with. So we want not only our students to have that, but their families to be prepared as well and understand what we have to offer, what we can provide for them, and then that in turn helps provide opportunities and awareness to, hey, if I go into this, or if I do this, or I take these classes, this might be something that can help me further down the road. And we're working on building skill sets, so those are transferable across everything. Those durable skills are one of the biggest things that we're working with our elementary and middle school students. The superintendent has stressed this through her strategic plan, vision of a learner, and those 5 areas specific to getting students to be able to work together and be critical thinkers, so they can take those skills, and then in turn, if they want to go to college or they want to use those in the workforce, they have the opportunity and they have the availability of resources to say, hey, I want to do this or I want to go there, and it's proving successful for them.
Well, that's music to our ears. At the Chamber, single biggest issue we hear from our members is access to talent and workforce needs. We work very hard on that and have staff dedicated to that. Karen Pelletier, our Executive Vice President, Dave Garvin, our Manager of Workforce Programming. But that's partnerships, right? And there are cultures that are unique. There's a school culture, then there's a business, and sometimes getting the worlds to kind of talk and understand each other can be a challenge, and that's, I think, our roles. But thrilled to have Pat with us. With Scouting America has really focused on expanding. Maybe our viewers think of Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops. Well, now it's kind of blended, but Scouting America has also focused on these Explorer programs. And Pat, why don't you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So Exploring is a branch of Scouting America that really focuses on youth career exploration pathways.
For boys and boys and girls.
Boys and girls, absolutely. Yeah, and the great part about it is that it's we've got the curriculum of leadership development and personal growth that kind of undermines all of Scouting, but then it also focuses on developing interactive hands-on experiences for young people and direct mentoring and interaction with professionals that are in that career field now. And so by giving them the opportunity to really get a sense of what a role is like at a young age, they can start to imagine, potentially see themselves in that career field. And so that's what's really exciting about it. Exploring is a program that's been going on for decades now, and we're really excited to be able to launch kind of a new initiative in Central Massachusetts.
Well, that's Pat, you reached out to me on behalf of members of the Scouting America board here locally, which is the Heart of New England Council.
Heart of New England Council, absolutely.
But to say, hey, look, we've got this incredible asset with Worcester Regional Airport. It's an economic engine. There are jobs opportunities. And there was other Scout Council in New England that had created an Explorer program with the airport. Put you together with the Worcester Public Schools. We were able to get Rich Davey, the CEO of Massport, and Andy Davis, who runs the director of Worcester Regional Airport, kind of everybody in a room, and we've got an announcement to make.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So later this month, we're going to be kicking off the Aviation Career Exploration Club. It's an initiative that's focused on really giving middle school students in Worcester the opportunity to interact with professionals in the aviation sector. They're going to have the opportunity to really get an experience of what it's like to be an avionics technician, an air traffic controller, a baggage handler, craft services in aviation. I think you know, we've done some polling with middle school students, and when you ask them about a career in aviation, the top two things that always come to the surface are pilot and flight attendant.
Right.
And yet for every pilot and flight attendant, there are hundreds of other
Right.
really lucrative career opportunities in the aviation sector. And I think this initiative, we hope, is going to spark some interest and ignite maybe a passion for some of these young kids to really see themselves in a career down the road. And the great part about aviation is that, as our viewers well know, the aviation industry continues to grow year over year, driven by the demand in personal and corporate growth. So careers in aviation have rising wages, tremendous job security, and international opportunities as well. So they're very much high in demand, and the beauty of this partnership, and I really want to make sure that everyone appreciates all of the stakeholders that are involved in this. The great part about it is that this initiative really illustrates the strength of a partnership between Scouting America, the Heart of England Council, the Worcester Public Schools, the Worcester Regional Chamber has been a huge part of it. Yeah, as you mentioned, Rich Davey,
JetBlue, American Airlines, Atlantic Aviation,
Delta Airways, the Worcester Regional Airport, Massport's been tremendously supportive. So together, we're really delivering an opportunity for youth to explore a career pathway, to really look at jobs that they could pursue right here at home.
And Chris, you talked about, you know, the range of students across really K through 12. I mean, it's high school, now middle school, and even getting into K through 6. But this is targeted toward middle school. Unfortunately, it's capped to 30. Maybe you can just talk about some of the, if someone's watching, they're interested, how are you going to get kids involved and families?
Sure. So we have, right now, the field trips are actually taking place next week to spark some interest with our students. We use Forest Grove Middle School and Sullivan Middle School as two of our middle schools because they're closest to the airport for proximity. We have 2 field trips happening next week. Students have already signed up and registered for about 30 to 35 students at each school. And then from there, we're sort of running a pilot program this spring. With all of our students. It'll happen one time a month, and they'll be at the airport and being able to go through, all the pieces that are happening up there, so students can see that. As Pat pointed out, a lot of times our students only know what they know, and they don't have those experiences outside of that. So again, thinking more of pilot and flight attendant, we offer 23 programs at Worcester Technical High School and 9 programs at our comprehensive high schools. That they're learning skill sets that can be transferable to the things that we're talking about here. And we're trying to get students to learn this at a younger age, to be open to it, to have the ability to explore this at a young age and say, I'm making educated decisions about my future, and these are things I want to know more about and ask questions, so we can help guide them to a future. Because in conversations with the chamber and everybody else's, there's jobs out there that are available they're trying to fill, and we have the students. We have 27,000 students in the city of Worcester, Worcester Public Schools, and Dr. Menares has made a big point to make sure that we're pushing that initiative with our students to say, this is here, we're working with the chamber, we're working with the city of Worcester, we have those kids, and you can come to us, we'll come to you, and we'll help provide those opportunities, and this is just a perfect example of that.
Well, I want to thank both of you for being with us.